gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Skype with Spyke, with your host, Spyke Von Shadow. Hey, how's everybody doing? Bitch, I told you to stay out of my... Hey, how's everybody doing today? I'm Spyke Von Shadow, and welcome to Skype with Spyke. Today, I have a very special guest, and not just one, not two, but three special topics for you today. Giving you your money's worth here. Today we're going to be talking about Super Sunday. Now you're going to ask yourself, what is that? Super Sunday was this past Sunday. We had so much epicness going on this week. And I decided, you know what, Spyke? Let's do a Skype with Spyke. With my best friend in the whole world. Person who not only got me in to The Walking Dead, but also into So we're going to be talking about the most recent episode of Dragon Ball. Vegeta versus Cave. Saiyan versus Saiyan. 6 versus 7. Then we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 32. One of the biggest and probably one of the best, or at least top 5 best, WrestleManias ever. And we're going to be talking about the season finale of The Walking Dead. So much epicness, so much craziness to get to. But enough me running my mouth. Let's get to our guest. So, my guest today, my best friend in the whole motherfucking world, Russell Hamilton. He's been watching Dragon Ball for ages. He's been watching The Walking Dead for who knows how long. And he grew up with wrestling just like me and just like many of you out there. So, join me in welcoming Russell! What's going on, Russ?
I like your introduction.
Oh, why, thank you. I just do my best here, you know. I'm just a guy, and I like talking to people, and I like talking about topics, man, you know. And I'm glad that we could have you on Skype with Spyke today. Dude, we have so much stuff to talk about, like, wow, where do I begin? All right, I wanted to save The Walking Dead for last, because, like, there's a lot of juiciness there. I want to start with Dragon Ball first.
Okay, we can start Dragon Ball.
Okay. Now, what did you think of this week's episode of Dragon Ball?
I thought it was interesting that Vegeta was training this guy, those Super Saiyan. And part of me thinks, like, is that really realistic? Because think about how hard Goku and Vegeta had to work to reach that Super Saiyan level. Think about how hard Gohan had to work. But then again, on the other side, think about how easy it came to people like Goten and Trunks. And so there's a question of how is that realistic or not for Vegeta to be able to train him in the midst of a single battle, go Super Saiyan like that? I think it's really cool, though, the way they did it. And that he ended up going Super Saiyan, and Vegeta showed him the Super Saiyan Blue, and it's like, look, you train hard, one day you'll get to my level, and you'll be able to do this. And he's, Cave doesn't have a lot of confidence. He's like, oh, maybe I'll do it, but probably not. Oh. And then Vegeta's like, no, we're not having any of that. You're going to surpass it. That's what you have to do. That's your goal. And I thought that was really cool, that still that confidence.
Like, I think, now this is my personal opinion, mind you. Vegeta! But anyways, this is one of the best, if not one of the best episodes of all of Dragon Ball. Now you're going to ask yourself, why is that? Because between last week and this week, I think the amount of character development and growth of Vegeta, not only in Dragon Ball Super, but in Dragon Ball as a whole, has grown like 1,000-fold. Okay? Think about it like this. This shit wouldn't have happened in Dragon Ball Z, during the Frieza saga, or the Cell saga, or even the Buu saga. You know what I mean? Like, this is not...
Hold on one second, dude. Hold on one second.
Okay.
It was on. Okay, I have my keys, so I can hear you. Oh, I was just letting you know that I had them. Good. My roommate's leaving. I want to make sure.
You never know what's gonna happen here on Skype with Spike. Seriously. Okay.
Oh, hey, look, a dog.
Oh, hey, look, a dog. So, anyways, like I was saying, it's not the type of thing that would have happened with old Vegeta. Old Vegeta would have been like, yeah, whatever. I think we really seen a growth in Vegeta. And it's like I said in my Titans video the other day. The thing is, like, old Vegeta would have never done that. But he is now
I almost... He would have done something similar, maybe. He would have tried to help him, but not that way.
Exactly.
Piccolo said it best. Vegeta's a Saiyan prince, and it's in his nature to want to help out the other Saiyans. And think about it, from Vegeta's perspective, he did try to do that with Goku when he first landed on Earth. He's like, look, you're strong. You're stronger than Nappa. You're more reliable than Nappa. I could use you. You can come with me, and you can be my right-hand man, and, we can work together, this, that, whatever. And so in his eyes, he's helping out Goku by giving him a way to come with him and join up with the rest of the remaining Saiyans and work and be part of their way of life and come back and win. And Goku's like, no, I see how you treat your partners. That's not going to happen. So in Vegeta's eyes, I think he was trying to help him. But then when Goku refused and wanted to fight him, he's like, well, now I'm just going to kill him. It's like, I tried, didn't work, I'm going to kill him now. And obviously that's not the same Vegeta that's in this tournament now. So I think that they did a good job with that, of showing how far he's come as a character, but at the same time, he's kind of the same. And then Goku's like, oh, well, Vegeta was never like that with me. Piccolo's like, well, yes, because he doesn't like you.
I think one of the biggest, that moment between Cabe and Vegeta was so powerful is because I think Vegeta sees a lot of himself in Cabe. And he's like, wow, he's like
younger.
Yeah. Yeah, like a younger Vegeta, And I really thought there was this deep, profound amount of respect between the two of them.
Yeah.
And it was like the first time, like, seriously, I've ever seen Vegeta, like, show respect to someone like that.
Right.
And,
yeah, definitely.
And especially when he was talking about going and visiting Planet Salad in Universe 6.
And I can't wait for that to happen.
Oh,
I can't wait for Vegeta Goku to go up, meet up all these other Saiyans.
Oh my gosh.
Like, how many of them have gone Super Saiyan? How many of them? Because they evolve differently. They don't have tails. I don't know if they can transform into Goku. So I wonder, when they go there, what are they going to encounter? What are the people going to be like? What are they capable of? How strong are they compared to Super Saiyan? Say.
I agree. And like the overall episode was really stunning. And then like seeing Cabe go Super Saiyan, and then he started doing the Gallic Gun. Like it was so.
Oh yeah, that was cool. He mimicked the Gallic Gun.
Like I at one point in the battle, I thought to myself, like, is that what Cabe's special ability is? Is he can mimic?
Yeah. It led me on a little bit though. When I seen him mimic the Gallic Gun, I was like, Cabe's strong, and can mimic other people's attacks, so he must be able to go Super Saiyan. Maybe he can go Super Saiyan God or whatever. He's probably just as strong as Vegeta. And I found out, like, what is that? So, like, he's outclassed in this tournament. Like, every single person I've seen, Cabe is the weakest by far. Except for maybe, like, that big bear.
Batamo, yeah.
But, yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. I was like, he's really good at mimicking attacks, like, studying people and studying their moves and their form and their technique. Because he didn't just mimic the Gallic Gun, he mimicked Vegeta's technique. And mastered his he just couldn't transform. And so, he was ready to transform. Well, maybe, yeah, that is realistic, that Vegeta was able to train him right there. Because Vegeta's seen, like, they were equal in strength at base level. So he's ready. He's capable of going Super Saiyan. He just hasn't been pushed that far enough. He hasn't been through the hardship and the same experiences that Vegeta has been through that pushed him to that level.
And remember that the Super Saiyan, in order to transform, comes out of a necessity. And that's what Vegeta did in this fight. He
threatened his family and his planet and everything because he brought that out in him.
And
he
then
had to play the bad guy.
He had to. But see, he did it in a way to bring out the best in him.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was blown away. I was like, holy crap, he can go Super Saiyan.
So, was training Gohan, and he threw Gohan at the mountain. And then he ended up blowing a hole through the whole...
Dodge! Dodge! Oh, boy. So, yeah, all in all, just phenomenal episode. Now, let's get to WrestleMania. What did you think of WrestleMania?
I haven't seen all the WrestleMania. I just seen highlights.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen mostly... I've seen most of the Shane and Undertaker match, and that was a good match. It was kind of... it was the first real Undertaker match other than WrestleMania 30, where it's like I felt like I couldn't predict it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
WrestleMania 30 was different because no one expected Undertaker to lose, and then he did. And then this one was different because now that he's already lost, it's not as big of a deal if he loses again. He's like, well, he's already lost one, you know? So now he could lose at any time because they've broken that, you know, they've broken down that barrier. And so now with every Undertaker match, it's more unpredictable because you never know. Well, they already made him lose once, so there's no streak anymore. So now he could lose at any time. You know, they're not going to keep the streak alive just for the sake of, you know, Undertaker's streak, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, it was the first match where it's like, I want the Undertaker to win, but I want Shane to win too, because of what would happen. Take control and make things better. So, I was okay with... I would have been fine with either outcome, I think.
Yeah. I thought the match was really good. My favorite moment was like when Shane was on top of the Hell in the Cell, and then he jumped all the way down, like, holy crap. And then him hitting Undertaker over the head with the toolbox and all that stuff going all over the place. I just thought that was hilarious. And I agree with you. I think the unpredictability, like, you really couldn't predict either way, even though deep down I knew, like, yeah, Undertaker's going to win this one. But at the same time, I was like, it could go either way because Shane could win, take over Raw, then hire the Undertaker back. So, right. it really at one...
What about the fact that Shane lost, but then his dad gave him control of Raw for the night, just for the one night, anyway. Like, that's kind of... it's like, what's the point of the whole match then? You know?
Yeah, well, that was just like the Intercontinental match. You know, that big 6-man ladder match, which was like, seriously. 6-man ladder match for the Intercontinental belt. Like, I ain't never seen nothing like that on a WrestleMania. Like, the whole WrestleMania, I've watched most of it. I haven't watched all of it. But I've watched most of it, and it was like every match was incredible. Like, even the Roman Reigns versus Triple H match was really good.
Right.
Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. Like, New Day.
On that one, I didn't see.
Oh, yeah, that was... I only saw, like, brief parts of that, but that was really good. Like, New Day came out of a big fucking, like, cereal box, and they looked like Saiyans.
I like the one where Stone Cold and HBK and Mick Foley came out. Mick Foley's all looking like Charles Manson.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then The Rock versus... Oh,
like
sorry.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, he starts dancing along too, like he's playing along. Not out of nowhere, just gives him the stunner.
This shit was awesome.
It was hilarious.
And then The Rock versus the Wyatt family, and then The Rock comes out of the ring, or comes to the ring, right? And he's got like this torch. And then there's like his name, right? And he like lights that motherfucker on fire. Like, that was sweet. Like, the entrances, I think the entrances were one of the biggest things that really set this WrestleMania apart from the other ones. I mean, The Undertaker's was completely just wow. You know, the electricity, even more smoke and whatever. You know, and it was like New Day came out in this big cereal box, and, you know, The Rock lit the thing on fire, and I mean, like, the entrances were just sensational, and it's like 90% of the matches were really good. Dude, I even watched the Women's Championship, dude, and that was cool.
I thought they got rid of the Women's Championship. They had like a Divas Championship.
Yeah, that's what this WrestleMania was about. They've now gotten rid of the Divas Championship, and now they have a WWE Women's Championship. And it looks very similar to, like, the championship belt, except it's white and it's got red in the middle. Okay. So, yeah. Last night on Raw, they actually...
That much. I don't know all the smaller details of things. I just kind of see...
Oh, dude, you just had to watch WrestleMania and they explained it.
Just kind of see highlights, and I know about the big stories that are going on, just with revolve around characters that I like, you know, but so a lot of the new stuff, New Day, I don't know who they are. A lot of the divas, whatever, don't really know who they are. You know,
subscribing to the WWE Network helps.
I bet.
That's why I subscribe to the WWE Network.
Yeah, shoot a commercial for the WWE Network. Free advertising.
I'm Spyke Von Shadow, and I endorse this message. Okay. So WrestleMania was huge. It was wonderful. It was awesome. Now,
it's a Walking Dead.
We're going to take our last commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the season finale of The Walking Dead. Stay tuned. And we're back with my very special guest, Russell Hamilton. And now, we're about to talk about the season finale of The Walking Dead. Welcome back, Russell.
All right, so let's get to it.
Yes, your thoughts.
I had asked before, but then we decided to talk about other things first.
I wanted to save. I really wanted to save the best for last, and there's a reason.
Let's get to it. Main event. All right.
Yeah, like we had like the title matches, and now we got the main event.
All right. Who do you think got the bag? Because we talked about this a little bit the other day, and we had a disagreement as far as who we thought got the bag. So let's make a bet. Who are you thinking?
I think Eugene.
Eugene.
Yes.
I remember who he's back. I don't.
Who do you think? I think Eugene, because in the episode, there was that scene, that RV scene, where, like, Rick was like, Eugene, you know, and he gave him the plans to the ammunition, you know, to make, you know, like they did in the previous episodes. Okay, then you got Abraham and him having this, like, big brother, little brother moment, and it's like, there's been too many times, and remember, I called this, okay? I called the fact that The Walking Dead was going to end with the cliffhanger, remember?
Yep.
Okay? So, because I study film, I study TV shows, and they do this type of things. There's these little, like, plot devices that they use, and it's almost like a red flag or like a signal, like, hey, this person's about to die. So that's why I think it's Eugene.
Okay, and I understand that because they kind of brought a story arc there to a close, and usually when they do that on The Walking Dead, it's like a kiss of death. As soon as your story arc comes to a close, they have no need for you anymore. Done. You're done.
Yep.
But they've been doing that with a lot of characters. They have set up so many different characters to die. The same thing with Abraham. When Abraham and Eugene's story arc came to a close, the Abraham and Rosita story arc came to a close. In the comic books, Abraham was already dead because he got Denise's death in the show. Or rather, Denise got Abraham's comic book death. So he's kind of already passed his expiration date as far as the comic books go. And so they could kill off Abraham. And that fit the story. It would tear apart Sasha again because first Tyrese died, and that sent her off on a crazy spin, and Bob died, and that sent her off on a crazy spin. Bob died first, then Tyrese died, and then Abraham brought her back, Now, if Abraham dies, then she's gonna lose her shit again. So that could happen. They could kill off Sasha. Now that she's finally come back from the brink of going crazy, and she found somebody that she loves, and she's ready to start a life. They've set that whole thing up where, what if we do what Glenn and Maggie did? And they're like, yeah, we can do that. Let's do it. Or, they didn't necessarily agree to it. They just said that they could. So they set that whole thing up so they could kill Sasha off now. They could kill Abraham off. They could kill Glenn because they've been foreshadowing Glenn's death for so long now. And they keep teasing us, saying, oh, Glenn's going to die.
And he died. He's the one that ends up dying in the comic books.
And this is where he died in the comic books. But 99% of the comic book deaths, they don't do the same way on
Exactly.
TV. They almost never kill off the same person in the same way in the comic books on TV. And so right now, I'm like 40% it's going to be Glenn, 40% it's going to be Abraham, and like 20% that it could be Daryl. But I don't think they're going to kill off Daryl because he's already injured and he's still got so much story left, I think, to tell, especially between him and Dwight and him and Carol. And him and they could do something with him and Rosita now because they have that experience together now. They both were there when Denise died, and so maybe, I don't know, maybe Abraham or maybe Daryl and Rosita become a thing. I don't know. I just feel like they got a lot more story to tell with Daryl still, especially now. I thought they might kill him off in season 5, because in season 5 he didn't do a whole lot. He's kind of in the background, especially like later half of season 4 and season 5. Daryl got real depressed, real quiet, and he didn't say a whole lot. And, he had his moments, but he wasn't, he wasn't the same Daryl that he was in seasons 1, 2, and 3, because he lost his brother. That whole story arc came to a close. He took Beth. That story arc came to a close in season 5, and then he didn't have anything to live for. It's kind of faded into the background a little bit.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, in season 5, when they merge with the people of Alexandria, he becomes like a scouter, like Aaron.
Yeah. But at first, he's like an outsider. Like,
yeah.
He refuses to take a shower. He refuses to talk to anybody. You don't care. He's like, this place is too good to be true. I'm not buying it. This is wrong. This is weird. I don't like it. And so Daryl was kind of like outcast until there was a moment where he got that motorcycle and he started talking to Aaron. And then they're like, oh, well, we can recruit people. And then it's like, all right, maybe they are going to do something else with Daryl. They're not just going to kill him off. They're going to do something with him. And then he ran into Dwight. And that whole story arc started something else. So they started this whole new story arc with Daryl. And I think they're just getting started with it. So I don't think they're going to kill off Daryl. I think Daryl will probably be one of the last main characters to die. When the show's getting ready to come to an end, I think that's when Daryl's going to die. I think Daryl will die in the last season. That's my theory. But he could die. You could kill him. But right now, I'd say it's mostly between Abraham and Glenn. If I had to make a bet, I'm going to say Glenn. I know they don't usually stick to the comic books as far as deaths go like that, but this is like the most iconic moment in the comic books. The most iconic moment in all of the Walking Dead stories, like this episode. And it pisses me off that they made it a cliffhanger.
I know, right?
Because it's like they've been building...
But I knew it was going to happen, though.
In this finale. And they've been building it up for the past year. And they finally get to the moment, and they don't do it. It's like, they finally get to that moment. Everyone's been waiting for it for the past year. They don't do it. You gotta wait another 6 months to see it. That's...
Dude, let's talk about when Negan was... Like, dude, I could do a whole video about just the last part of the episode when Negan showed up, dude. Like, I got chills, man. Like, when they knocked down the trailer and he walked out talking about everyone pissing their pants. Like, I was just like, holy fucking crap, dude.
Kansas City here real soon.
Like, it was just like his presence, like on screen. And it was just like the tone. It was like the whole
character very well. He played it differently than I thought because I was expecting him to be a lot more energetic. Like, comic book Negan is very, like, energetic. And this Negan is a more chill, kind of laid back, more sinister Negan. Like, same personality traits, just not as energetic and hyped up about everything. Like, not as over the top as he was in the comic books, but still the same in regards to his principles and, you know, the way he treats people and the fact that he's kind of a sociopath. He's got a bat named Lucille that he talks to and gives it a personality, and he really enjoys killing people. Like, he just loves, like, he gets off on beating people's heads in with the bat. Like, all of that. That's Negan. That is who Negan is. And he adapted to TV. It's all those traits are the same. He's just not as, like, in-your-face energetic about it, I don't think. But I think that's not a bad thing, though, because I think it's a really good adaptation for TV because it lets you take Negan more seriously. It gives it a more sinister feeling when you're just waiting for him to kill somebody. But at the same time, it's still got that comedic humor that Negan has. But when he says it, because when he's like, oh, it's going to be Pee Pants City here real soon, in the comic books, like, that cracked me up. But in watching it on TV, I'm like, oh man, like
you wanted to laugh, and yet you were kind of like freaked out by it at the same time.
Yeah,
it was kind of like this interesting feeling that you felt.
Like my driver's training instructor. When I took my driver's test, he was a serious person. Like I thought at any given moment, he was just going to tell me to stop, get out the car, you fail, get out of my face. But then, like, he'd make these weird jokes, like he'd say something that was funny, but he'd say it in, like, the most serious way. And it made me, and I'm like, I don't know if I should laugh or be scared right now. And, like, that's how I felt when Negan's talking. And he's like, he's, you know, he's talking about Pee Pants City. And I'm like, I don't know if that's hilarious or I should be terrified, you know?
Like, one of the most impressive parts about Negan's character and the way that Jeffrey Dean Morgan did it was the fact that, you know, you've read the comic book. Like, he says fuck, like, after every other word. And, like, how they took that from the comic books and made it and still preserved his character.
And I think that's one of the reasons why his character is not as energetic and over the top in TV shows, because they can't, you know, they got to censor. When you're saying fuck every other word, it's kind of hard not, you know, it's funny. Like, when Negan's talking in the comic books and he's just constant profanity, all, like, every word is just, you can't say on TV, that it's kind of funny. It brings a comedic effect to it when you're reading it. And since they can't use that word on TV, they got to change the character around and make it more serious.
Well, I want to thank my very special guest, Russell Hamilton, for being here today. Thank you. And from all of us here at Skype with Spike, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, baby.